Winter is not merely a season, it is a formidable force that demands respect and preparation. As the days grow shorter and the nights stretch longer, temperatures plummet, leaving frost-coated landscapes in their wake. But with the beauty of winter comes its unforgiving harshness. Picture this: a sudden Arctic blast descends upon your town, freezing water pipes, blacking out electricity, and turning roads into icy traps. The biting cold seeps into every corner, devouring warmth with relentless ferocity. Are you ready to face nature's icy wrath? Without preparation, simple tasks can become survival challenges, and comfort can quickly transform into desperation. Step outside unprepared, and the wind cuts like knives, chilling you to the core before you even realize the danger. Don't underestimate the power of winter storms that can leave entire regions immobilized for days. Now is the time to act, to secure your home, your family, and yourself from the merciless grip of extreme cold. Winter is coming, its icy breath already on the horizon. The key to enduring its ferocity lies in preparation. Do not wait until it's too late. The time to fortify your defenses is now, because when winter strikes, you won't get a second chance. 1. Fortifying your home. Winter is coming, and it brings an unforgiving chill that creeps into every corner of your home if you're not prepared. The extreme cold doesn't knock politely, it barges in through every crack, every poorly insulated wall, and every unsealed window. You must fortify your home before winter tightens its icy grip, or you risk facing a nightmare: plunging temperatures indoors, skyrocketing heating bills, and structural damage. The time for action is now. Think of insulation as your home's armor against winter's relentless assault. Without it, the warmth inside will escape faster than you can replenish it, leaving you shivering in your own living room. Attics are especially vulnerable, as rising heat quickly escapes through this area if it isn't properly sealed and insulated. The same applies to walls, where even small gaps can allow the heat you're paying for to seep out, leaving you at the mercy of frigid winds that chill you to the bone. Strengthening these weaknesses is not a luxury, it's survival. Windows and doors are the sneaky culprits of heat loss, creating drafts that feel like icy fingers trailing across your skin. If these are not sealed with precision, you may as well invite the cold inside. Weather stripping is your weapon here, closing off every hidden gap and stopping the drafts dead in their tracks. Think of it as barricading against winter's invasion. Missing this critical step could mean endless discomfort as you futilely crank up your heating, only to feel chills prickling your spine. But the dangers don't stop at drafts and heat loss. What about your pipes, lurking in unheated spaces like basements, garages, and exterior walls? Winter doesn't show mercy to fragile plumbing systems. Unprotected pipes are ticking time bombs, prone to freezing and worse, bursting. A burst pipe doesn't just disrupt your water supply, it floods your home with icy water, transforming your refuge into a disaster zone. Pipe insulation is not an option, it's a lifeline. Take no chances, ensure every exposed pipe is wrapped and insulated, and when the temperatures are at their lowest, keep a slow drip of water running to prevent freezing. The slight increase in your water bill will pale in comparison to the nightmare of water damage paired with bone-chilling cold. Heating systems, the very heart of your home's defense, must be maintained with vigilance. The scariest adversary isn't the cold itself, it's a failing heater at the peak of the season, leaving your entire family stranded in sub-zero temperatures. Ensure that your system is in optimal working condition before the frost descends. Set your thermostat to a steady, efficient temperature. Too many drastic changes only confuse the system. For an extra layer of control, a programmable thermostat becomes your best ally, making sure you conserve energy when you're away and maintain comfort when you return. But complacency is where the cold will win. Neglect your heating system, and you could soon face a cold too intense for blankets and faith alone to shield you. Above, where the eye often fails to glance, your roof bears the brunt of winter's fury. Heavy snowfall accumulates quickly, and ignoring it is an invitation to collapse, a disaster that can cost you not only your home but possibly your safety. The weight of snow may seem harmless at first, but as it builds, it threatens the structural integrity of your roof. Clear it regularly, but take extreme caution. Slippery surfaces and icy edges make this an exceptionally dangerous task. If scaling your roof feels too perilous, do not hesitate to hire professionals. Better to spend on their expertise than gamble with your life or risk a catastrophic roof failure. Winter doesn't wait for you to be ready, it strikes with a ferocity that tests the limits of your home's defenses. Without proper preparation, your sanctuary could turn into a frozen tomb or a waterlogged mess. Fortify your home now. Double-check every weak point, reinforce where needed, and make no compromises. The winds are howling, the snow is gathering, and time is running out. Waiting until the cold truly arrives is a gamble you don't want to take. 2 power solutions. The arrival of extreme cold can be unforgiving, especially when it compromises your ability to access reliable power. Imagine the bitter frost creeping into your home, your heating system falling silent, and the overwhelming darkness pressing against your windows. Winter is ruthless, and a power outage during this season turns survival into a chilling game of endurance. That's why your power solutions must be foolproof. Your life depends on it. Generators are often the first line of defense against the icy grasp of winter's chaos. From small portable units that can keep the bare essentials running to robust whole-home standby systems, generators provide a beacon of hope when the grid fails. But don't be lulled into a false sense of security. Power failure during a snowstorm is almost inevitable, and the last thing you want is for your generator to betray you. Test it, fuel it, and test it again. These lifelines cannot go untended. Neglect here could cost more than inconvenience, it could cost lives. For those chasing a renewable edge, solar panels offer a tempting solution. But the unrelenting snow and ice are waiting to strike even the most optimistic plans. Your glimmer of hope lies in keeping the panels clear of snow accumulation. Fail to do so, and they'll turn into nothing more than ornamental slabs under winter's icy blanket. The true key to sustainable power, however, lies in pairing solar panels with battery banks. These storage systems can hold enough energy to keep you through the long, frigid nights, but only if you prepare in advance. Without them, your attempt at harnessing renewable energy could result in a chilling disappointment. When your power sources are stretched thin, prioritization becomes an issue of survival. Forget luxuries and focus on the necessities that will keep you alive. Heating must come first. Without it, frostbite doesn't take long to find you, creeping in with its icy fingers. Lights are next, for the dark winter nights are smothering and suffocating without their glow. Communication devices are lifelines to the outside world, keeping you tethered to emergency assistance and updates. And do not underestimate the importance of keeping food fresh and safe. Your refrigeration systems could mean the difference between nourishment and desperation. Yet, even the most advanced systems can crumble under winter's relentless assault. Here, your backup solutions become your final stronghold. Non-electric tools such as wood-burning stoves, propane heaters, and candles offer warmth when the power grid is nothing more than a memory. Flashlights slice through the oppressive darkness, while iceboxes preserve your food when refrigerators become useless hulks. But beware, backup solutions require care and understanding. A poorly ventilated propane heater or a misplaced candle can turn your sanctuary into a death trap. The tools that save you could just as easily destroy you if used recklessly. Winter does not forgive. Every snowy gust whispering at your windows and every ice storm blanketing your world carries the same message: be ready or be lost. Our solutions are not a convenience, they are the fragile thread keeping you from the cold abyss. Prepare wisely, maintain diligently, and respect winter's power, for it hungers for those who underestimate it. 3. Stockpiling essentials. When winter tightens its icy grip and temperatures plummet to bone-chilling levels, survival hinges on one crucial factor: your preparation. The extreme cold isn't just uncomfortable, it can be deadly, turning even simple tasks into life or death challenges. That's why you must start stockpiling essentials now, before it's too late. When the storm hits and shelves at the store are stripped bare, there will be no second chances. Desperation breeds chaos, and those who aren't prepared may find themselves at the mercy of nature's most unforgiving season. Your first priority must be food. The importance of a robust supply of non-perishable items cannot be overstated. Think canned vegetables, hearty soups, proteins like beans or canned meats, and calorie-dense snacks such as nuts, dried fruits, and grains. Without access to fresh produce, your nutrition is going to be entirely dependent on what you've set aside. And don't forget comfort foods when the power's out and the cold seeps into your bones. A small dose of comfort can work wonders for your morale. Fail to plan your food stores, and hunger will quickly rival the biting cold as your greatest adversary. Equally critical is water. Do not be fooled by the winter snow, it is not a reliable source of hydration. Melting snow is labor-intensive, slow, and drains precious fuel that could be used for heating. You'll need at least 1 gallon of drinkable water per person per day, stored safely in portable, sealed containers. Imagine the horror of running out of clean water. While stranded in a deadly blizzard, this is no time to take risks. Having an ample water supply is the line between survival and succumbing to the hellish cold that envelopes everything. Don't overlook medical supplies. Winter doesn't just bring freezing temperatures, it paves the way for illness, injuries, and accidents. A well-stocked first aid kit is no longer a suggestion but an absolute necessity. Bandages, antiseptics, painkillers, and even prescription medications must be stored and accounted for. Remember, icy roads and frozen landscapes can keep emergency services far out of reach. Something as simple as a small cut or mild fever could spiral into a far graver situation than you anticipate. The cold doesn't care about your comfort, it will exploit every weakness. Then there is the issue of heating and cooking fuel, your lifeline in the depths of winter. Extreme temperatures can render electrical systems unreliable or completely useless. Without adequate heat, your shelter becomes your tomb. Stock sufficient wood, propane, or kerosene according to the heating source you rely on. Keep in mind, the more versatile your options, the better. A single mishap, like running out of one fuel type, could leave you in a precarious struggle. For cooking, backup fuel options will ensure you're not eating icy meals that sap your body's energy when you need it most. The thought of enduring freezing nights without heat or sustenance should be frightening enough to motivate you to take action now. Finally, there's the matter of storage. All your efforts won't mean a thing if the supplies you've gathered are ruined. Food can spoil, water can freeze solid, and medications can be rendered useless if not protected from the harsh environment. Designate a dry, temperature-controlled space for your stockpile. Secure insulated containers for water and other sensitive items to prevent freezing. If your supplies fail you when they're needed most, the consequences could be catastrophic. Imagine the terror of realizing too late that the food you've hoarded has gone bad or your water jugs have burst into shards of frozen plastic. This is not meant to instill unnecessary fear, it's meant to convey urgency. The extreme cold is not forgiving, and there's no room for error. Stockpiling essentials now, while the shelves are still full and the world isn't buried under snow and ice, is your only real defense against the chill that will try to claim everything. If thinking about unpreparedness doesn't scare you, it should. Because one thing is certain about winter: it will come. And it will not wait for you to be ready. Will you be able to withstand its wrath, or will you find yourself at its mercy? The answer lies in how well you prepare today. 4. Appropriate winter gear. Winter's icy grip is unforgiving, and venturing unprepared into the extreme cold can be downright perilous. When the frost begins to bite and the air becomes brittle, your only defense stands between life and the gnawing chill: your winter gear. Every decision you make regarding what to wear could be the difference between comfort and catastrophe, warmth and frostbite, or even life and death. Are you confident in your choices? Think again, because winter spares no one who underestimates its wrath. First on the survival checklist are your feet, and trust us, they'll be the first to scream for help. Thermal socks and insulated, waterproof shoes aren't just a recommendation, they are your lifeline. Those unprotected toes? They are the frost's favorite victims. Picture this: barely halfway through your day, your feet succumb to the cold, each step becoming a struggle against agony. Wet, soggy socks from snow sneaking into your ineffective shoes could make every step a nightmare, leaving you vulnerable to hypothermia. Don't underestimate the endless malice of snow and ice; they will find their way to exploit your weaknesses. Protect your footing or risk watching the winter devour you from the ground up. Layering your clothing isn't just a fashion statement, it's a fortress against the elements. Skipping even one layer, or using the wrong kind of fabric, could spell doom. Start with a strong base of thermal underwear to shield your skin. But be warned, this is only the first defense. An insulating middle layer, such as wool or fleece, is your shield against the depths of winter's fury, trapping precious heat within your body. And finally, the outer layer, a warrior's armor. This must be waterproof and wind-resistant, standing as a defiant barrier against the bone-chilling winds and relentless snow. To neglect any of these layers is to offer an open invitation for the cold to infiltrate, to seep into your skin, and to slowly, cruelly sap your strength. And don't think your extremities will be spared from winter's cruelty. Your fingers, toes, ears, and nose, all of them are prime targets for frostbite, and winter takes them without remorse. You'll need to protect each one as if your life depends on it, because it does. A simple hat, gloves, or scarf might seem insignificant, but when pitted against the endless assault of sub-zero temperatures, they transform into essential tools of survival. Without them, your body's heat will pour out into the void faster than you can realize, leaving you vulnerable and exposed. Watch your hands stiffen and your ears burn with the unforgiving cold. Negligence here is not an option. But don't be fooled into thinking all warmth is good warmth. Sweat, your body's natural reaction to physical activity, is another silent enemy in the cold. Wet clothing caused by perspiration will turn on you, clinging to your body and robbing it of heat with ruthless efficiency. Choosing moisture-wicking materials isn't just comfort, it's strategy. Cotton may seem cozy, but in the face of winter's brutality, it becomes a chilling trap, holding moisture close to your skin and amplifying the cold. Treat every drop of sweat as a potential threat. Staying dry is your last line of defense against the freezing grip of the elements. Winter waits for no stragglers, no mistakes, and no second chances. Leaving yourself unprepared for the extreme cold is not just foolish, it's dangerous. The right gear isn't optional, it's survival. Fail to prepare, and you might find yourself at nature's mercy shivering, suffering, and staring into the endless abyss of ice and wind that won't hesitate to claim you. Ensure your choices are calculated, your defenses are strong, and your body is protected. Winter is coming, and if you aren't ready, it will bury you in its icy grasp. 5 health and safety measures. Winter's icy grip can be unforgiving, even cruel, if you're unprepared for its relentless wrath. When the cold creeps in, a careless mistake or moment of inattention could mean the difference between life and death. Frostbite, the silent thief of touch, lurks in the shadows, waiting to claim your most vulnerable extremities. Fingers, toes, noses, and ears are prime targets, and the early warning signs are easy to dismiss. A fleeting numbness or a subtle skin discoloration might be the only clue that frostbite is tightening its hold. If you don't act quickly, the consequences can be devastating, leading to permanent tissue damage or the horrifying reality of amputation. Warming affected areas is your only hope, but it must be done delicately. Violence in this act could do more harm than good, tearing fragile tissues and worsening the damage. Rub frostbitten skin and you may be rubbing away your chance of healing. But frostbite is not the only predator stalking the frozen wilderness. Hypothermia is a far crueler foe, dragging its victims into a lethargic, confused haze until their bodies shut down completely. The first signs are subtle but sinister: intense shivering, slurred speech, and clumsy movements that betray a body desperately fighting a losing battle against the cold. Ignore these signs at your peril. Hypothermia rapidly escalates as the body diverts every shred of its energy to preserving warmth around vital organs, sacrificing extremities, and pulling you towards oblivion. Its chill whispers urge you to lie down, to sleep, but waking may not come again. Acting quickly is paramount. Get indoors. Strip off those betraying wet clothes that suck warmth away like a vampire pulling life from its victim, and envelop the person in blankets. But even blankets may not be enough to counter the icy chains that hypothermia wraps around its prey. Emergency help must be summoned without delay, because every second wasted is another step closer to irreversible damage or worse, death. And yet, the cold itself is not your only enemy. Sweat, humanity's natural cooling mechanism, becomes a treacherous accomplice in winter's campaign against you. Overexertion may feel like warmth at first, but sweat-soaked clothes quickly rob you of what little heat remains, turning your own body into a weapon against itself. To survive the worst of winter's torments, you must outsmart it. Stay dry and choose your armor wisely layered. Loose-fitting clothing is your shield against the frigid assault. Not too tight, or blood flow will be restricted, turning your own choices into traps for frostbite's icy hands. Not too light, or the wind will tear through the gaps and steal your precious warmth. It's a delicate balance, one you cannot afford to underestimate. Winter is not forgiving of hubris. It punishes the unprepared and mocks those who think themselves immune to its dangers. Dressing its frozen landscapes in serene white beauty, it hides its true nature beneath this deceptively peaceful facade. But make no mistake, winter is a predator, and you are its prey. Only vigilance, preparation, and respect for the season's dangers will keep its jaws from closing around you. Ignore these health and safety measures at your peril, because winter is not just coming, it's here. And it spares no one. 6. Navigating snow and ice. Winter is coming, and with it, the perilous threat of snow-covered paths and treacherous sheets of ice. These seemingly innocuous seasonal elements lurk, waiting to slip you up, sometimes quite literally. The snow, heavy and unrelenting, piles up on driveways and sidewalks, turning essential routes into icy barricades. Navigating these barriers becomes a daily battle, and underestimating their danger could have dire consequences. The seemingly straightforward chore of snow removal is laden with risks. The strain of shoveling dense, packed snow is not to be trifled with. It can take a dangerous toll on your body. Heart rates spike as the frigid air cuts through you, and the heavy tool in your hands begins to weigh down like a leaden curse. Shoveling too quickly or with bad form can lead to serious injuries, from strained muscles to potentially life-threatening cardiac events. Overexertion in the cold is a hidden specter, creeping in when you least expect it. A snowblower can be an ally in this icy campaign, humming a metallic song as it carves out a path, but even their mechanical reliability can falter. A moment's neglect, an accidental slip, and you might find yourself wrestling with more than just snow. Even more sinister than snow is the omnipresent danger of ice. Slick, smooth, and nearly invisible in low light, it transforms your once familiar surroundings into a treacherous minefield. One misstep is all it takes. The ground rushes up, and you're left sprawled out, bruised or worse. Ice is indiscriminate, it claims experienced winter navigators and unprepared individuals alike. A solid strategy is your best defense, sprinkling streets and walkways with gritty, abrasive sand or powerful ice melt that eats away at the slick coating inch by inch. But even then, the war is not over. The ice waits, biding its time for its next chance to seize the unwary. The shoes you wear could determine your survival. A simple walk to the mailbox can morph into a disastrous slip and fall event if you choose the wrong footwear. Shoes with good treads are a lifeline, gripping the stubborn patches of snow and hidden ice with the tenacity of a lift raft in a storm. The movements you make must slow to a calculated precision. No sudden steps, no hurried rush. Each stride must be deliberate, like walking on a blade's edge, for that's exactly what wandering across ice feels like, a desperate balance between danger and temporary safety. Avoiding ice might seem simple, just don't walk across it. But winter's cruel grip doesn't always grant you that luxury. Sometimes the only route is across the glossy expanse of frozen water. It tempts fate, sending chills down your spine with each tentative step. Your heartbeat quickens, not just from the cold but from the realization that even the smallest error could send you sprawling, injured and helpless against the relentless freeze. There is no room for arrogance here. Winter's icy terrain has demonstrated its unforgiving nature time and time again. The cold doesn't care about your plans or your preparation. It is an equalizer, harsh and unyielding. The snow and ice that appear magical from the safety of your window become agents of chaos the moment you step outside. Every effort to combat them feels like waging war against a silent, merciless predator. Winter is claiming dominance one icy inch at a time, and your readiness to face it could mean the difference between security and calamity. Preparation is your only weapon in this chilling battle against snow and ice. If you don't respect their power, they will remind you in painful, possibly catastrophic ways. Winter is indifferent to your shortcuts or hurried routines, and for those who venture unprepared, it watches, smiles, and waits for you to falter. 7. Utilizing community resources and support. Winter's icy grip is fast approaching, and with it comes the terrifying possibility of life-threatening cold snaps, relentless snowstorms, and crippling power outages. The descent into this frozen nightmare can feel overwhelming, but survival hinges on a grim truth: no one endures the cold alone. Utilizing community resources and fostering neighborhood support are critical steps as you steel yourself for the brutal days and nights ahead. Failure to act could leave you dangerously isolated in a world that has turned hostile. Imagine a winter blizzard roaring through your town, cutting off all power and piling drifts of snow against your home. Temperatures plummet to unforgiving lows, making survival a ticking clock. Nearby, a warming shelter sits just blocks away, a beacon of warmth and safety in the storm. Yet, without preparation or knowledge of its location, you might never reach it. That is why it's vital now, before the snow begins falling, to identify local community resources such as shelter spaces and emergency supply centers. These places could be the last refuge from the unyielding assault of winter's cold maw. Pay attention to communications from local authorities about weather warnings and the location of these life-saving spaces. Hesitation can be deadly. When nature shows no mercy, you must plan your route there before the snow imprisons you in place. The aftermath of a storm can often feel as harrowing as surviving the storm itself. Buried beneath thick sheets of ice and snow, communities struggle to regain footing as essentials run dangerously low. Without community coordination, chaos looms. Staying involved in post-storm recovery efforts isn't just about helping, it's about survival. By pooling resources, sharing information, and ensuring everyone knows how to find assistance, a community strengthens its chances of overcoming the harsh grip of winter. Avoid the false comfort of assuming help will arrive in time. Only proactive preparation will secure your safety. But the real danger of winter doesn't always roar loudly. Sometimes it creeps in silence. Elderly neighbors living alone, young families caught off guard, or isolated individuals may quietly succumb to the cold long before anyone realizes something is wrong. This is why constant communication within your neighborhood is essential. Checking on those around you is not merely an act of kindness, it's a battle strategy in the face of winter's ruthless onslaught. A quick knock on a neighbor's door or a phone call could uncover someone in dire need of food, warmth, or medical attention, their lifeline dependent on your vigilance. Winter's extremities expose our vulnerabilities, but they also highlight the power of collective resilience. Individual fortitude is not enough when every biting gust of wind rattles your bones and every snowstorm obscures help just beyond reach. Leaning into your community's strength becomes the difference between enduring the freeze or surrendering to it. Mutual safety builds a wall against the menacing cold. Conversations should start now, long before the first frost creeps over your doorstep. Discuss emergency response plans with those in your neighborhood. band together to create collective stashes of supplies like firewood, flashlights, and non-perishable food items. When the storm breaks and the lights go out, it won't just be warmth you're sharing, but hope. Do not underestimate the looming specter of extreme cold. Winter is no passive opponent, and its harsh touch claims lives every year. Its silence can seep into homes under locked doors, underprepared hearts, and disjointed communities. But through the darkness of an unending winter night, community action serves as a guiding torch. Arm yourself with the knowledge of your local resources. Reach out to those around you. Prepare as if your survival depends on it, because it does. Winter shows no mercy, and time is running out to prepare. Conclusion. Winter's arrival is inevitable, and with it comes challenges that test both preparation and endurance. The biting cold, relentless storms, and isolating snowdrifts are unyielding forces that respect neither strength nor circumstance. Yet survival is not merely a matter of braving the elements, it is the outcome of careful planning, vigilance, and community solidarity. By preparing early, assessing your resources, and fostering connections with those around you, you can stand resilient against winter's harshest trials. The key lies in respecting the power of the season while arming yourself against its unpredictability. Winter is coming, but with determination and foresight, you can face its icy grip head-on. Prepare now, because there is no second chance when the extreme cold takes hold. Your readiness will define your survival.